Hi, my and Daddy break up again.
Hello and welcome to Before We Break Up Again with Alfie Brown and Jessie Cave. On this week's episode, trigger warning. It's just not how you should say trigger warning, isn't it? Especially if it's something that you genuinely need a trigger warning about. But the subject of abortion is happened upon. So watch out for that. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/braveclown. We didn't put this on the Patreon. We decided not to do that in the end. So please subscribe to the Patreon as reward and go to the website. Don't do it on the Apple app. Don't do it on the App Store app. It'll charge you more. Sign up to be a Patreon on the website. Thank you so much for listening. Please please subscribe. And enjoy the rest of your days and lives. This is Before We Break Up Again. He didn't want me to open his biscuits for him because he came in here with his biscuits and said, "Where's Mummy?" And I went, "I don't know where Mummy is. Mummy should be down in a minute. Why?" And he said, "I need her to open my biscuits." And I said, "I could open your biscuits." And he said, "No, I want Mummy to do it." And I said, "Why do you need Mummy to open your biscuits?" And Becca said, "Because I love you and Mummy." And I went, "Right. So why does Mummy need to open your biscuits?" And he said, "Because I love her too much." And I said, "Why does loving somebody mean that they need to be the one to open your biscuits?" And he said, "I love Mummy," and then wandered out the room. So his biscuits went unopened until, have they been opened now?
Yeah.
You've opened them?
Yeah.
Good.
Just open them.
Good. I'm glad the biscuits got opened by the person that he loves the most in the world.
We have about probably 10 to 15 minutes before the Maryland cookie bag is, has served its purpose and he wants more.
I thank God for the dog.
What do you mean? Oh, for love.
Loving me more than you.
Oh, Alfie.
I mean, thank the Lord for the dog and our daughter.
She loves me.
Yeah, but me a bit more.
I don't think that's true.
No, but like in terms of, there's a nice father-daughter adoration developing. Like
yeah.
She feels like she's of the age now where it's not like Mummy is the protector and Daddy is this sort of other figure that you can't quite work out. There are sort of set roles developing between father and daughter. Like I can feel myself imprinting upon her ideas of what like a man is.
Yeah. And that's what we were saying in the last episode about I sometimes worry because you're so funny and I just can't imagine someone being funnier than you for her, in a partner. It must be quite hard. I wonder if she'll look for a funny man.
Who isn't that like just one of those things? Like it's also funny is what's funny, that not everybody thinks I'm funny.
I didn't necessarily go for a funny man.
I remember I went out on a date. It was my friend Luke was dating a girl and she had a friend and we all went out and Sammy, her name was, and I was trying my best in the car. I put, we were sort of, well, where do you come from? Just Hammersmith. Right. And, what do you do? I just work in makeup. Right. And nothing was coming back. She was so depressed that I was there and I was her date for the evening. And I was trying to be funny and I couldn't do it. I've never felt such contempt immediately and for a prolonged period. And then her mate was saying that, "Oh, Sammy's really funny." And I went, "Well, where's that?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, we play gladiators at home and she plays John, the referee." get ready. And like she was, but no, nothing.
Didn't show that for you.
Nothing. So I think when you're looking for somebody funny, it's a lot about rhythm and connection and like what's funny to somebody might not be funny to somebody else.
Yeah.
There are lots of people that don't think I'm funny, famously.
Yeah, but no one would know really what you're like at home. I mean, BB was saying my sister stayed for a couple of days this week, and before she left, she was like, it was just so funny when Alfie came in wearing the tea towels. And I was just really touched because it showed that he felt safe. And I was like, yeah, of course he feels safe. And that's what he comes in not wearing tea towels the whole time, but he does the equivalent of something completely clownish every day. And it's so great that you do that for them. You do perform for them.
I do. I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah.
In much a different way to me. I think also you probably are a different figure to them when I'm not there too, because when you're not there, I am a lot freer in lots of ways. No offense, but so I dance in the kitchen with them and I'd be too embarrassed to do that around you.
Who am I to you? What the hell are you talking about?
I do dance
You're
around you.
too embarrassed in front of me. 12 years, 4 kids. Like, I mean, we like.
Fair enough. I do dance in front of you, but I dance kind of in a bit more of a unattractive way, I guess, when you're not there. I try and at least look like I can dance when you're around.
But you can't dance.
I can
That's
dance.
That's worse.
I can dance. Alfie, I can dance.
You can't dance.
Okay.
And
that's not okay. I'm actually upset. That's not fine. I can dance. I can dance.
So why have you never danced in front of me?
I do dance in front of you. I just try and, I don't know. It's different. I'm just saying I'm slightly different when you're not there. I'm a bit more goofy.
I'd love that.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? They really do see probably a side of me that you don't necessarily see. I'm
not very different when you're not here.
Okay.
I engage in a lot of horseplay.
Yeah.
Honestly, can you talk for a minute?
They do love your horseplay. It's slightly too rough for my liking. I don't like how dangerous it looks.
Yeah.
For the neck and the neck breaking.
Yeah, but it's, this is how we, this is how we connect. This is how we bond. This is how, and they love it. They absolutely love it. Being thrown about and tossed onto the bed. And
I know.
It's great.
I know. The thing I realized in the park this morning with Becca on my own, when he just was, his energy, like he just wanted to play for so long. We were doing tennis drills and then he wanted to sprint and then he wanted to play witches and then he wanted to play chasing, just constant running. It was amazing actually to see him so.
Restaurants.
And then wanted to play restaurants.
You've forgotten restaurants.
We haven't played restaurants yet. We need to play restaurants.
Can you take me through the roles that you inhabited in restaurants?
No, we haven't done restaurants yet.
Oh, right.
Restaurants for after the podcast.
Right.
So get ready.
I'm not playing.
You're playing restaurants with us.
I've got work to do.
So do I, Alfie. So do I.
Well, yeah, but you have to play restaurants.
Yeah, so do you. You're playing restaurants too. He wants to play both of us.
What am I going to... I don't think he does.
No, he is. I'm not playing restaurants on my own. I've played all morning. I can't play restaurants on my own.
I've played with the dog all morning.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
What's the difference?
We only have a few 6 months left of Becca on his own before he's at school. So we need to indulge in him with restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I was thinking, how does he have the energy for this? And basically all the games just revolve around chasing.
Yeah.
If you just chase your kids, they will be so happy. And it's disguised under names like, spiders and flies or whatever. So many different names for these games, but it's essentially just chasing your child.
Yeah. But I like to be chased as well.
We should chase more. Maybe when he goes to school, we can really get into chasing.
And catch.
I would love it if we just played catch. Went out to the park and played catch.
Me and you have had great times playing catch for longer than anybody would expect. We could play catch for such a long time.
Love it. It's my favourite thing. That and just hitting a ball up and down, hitting a ball against the wall. I think that if I was in a mental institute,
And how far away are we from that, do you think?
At points, not that far. I think that would cure me. Going on some really strong anxiety medication and just hitting a ball against a wall all day.
You've seemed quite well for quite a long time now.
Yeah, but that's because my hormones have been imbalanced.
No, they've been balanced. Surely you'd be feeling better if they were balanced, not if they were imbalanced. If they were imbalanced, that's what causes the problem.
Yeah.
Is that not right?
I don't know.
Anyway.
I was pregnant and now I'm not.
That's good.
It's the title of a song, isn't it? That could be my first single.
Yeah.
I was pregnant and now I'm not.
So
something, da.
I suppose we can go into that. Jessie fell pregnant.
Found out on Boxing Day.
Found out on Boxing Day. Jessie found out on Boxing Day that we were pregnant. And it made our trip to Crosby Beach. It gave it a little bit of, it certainly gave it some seasoning. As I looked out to sea, saw the endless ocean as it met the horizon, and the curve of the earth fell away and the world's mysteries lay beyond. My life and the endless cycle of children growing, being babies, becoming older, settling and finding routine and rhythm and happiness. And then another baby starts growing inside of you. This one, I mean, I do know how it happened, but I don't know how it happened, if that makes any sense.
It was really, really strange. It was really strange because a large portion of last year I had been quite preoccupied with this idea of having another baby and feeling like it was a calling. And I felt like that's just what I will do. And you had been slightly two-faced, or not, you'd withheld certain bits of information. So as you had started to take testosterone, you knew that your fertility was decreasing.
Yeah.
As my need for another baby was surging. So you were quite clever because you were like, well, if that, as my PMDD symptoms and cycles were worsening. So it was almost like this relief, this pregnancy was relief in my head, because it was like, well, then at least I won't feel like this every 3 weeks.
Sorry, can we just double back and address the two-facedness? So
basically you knew, as you were telling me, well, maybe, you should just get pregnant then. When I was saying my PMDD is just so bad. It's whenever I would have these breakdowns, you would be like, well, maybe you just need to get pregnant.
So in the, just to give this some context, this is something that we've spoken about before, and various tactics that I have started playing around with to manage the symptoms of one's PMDD. The symptoms are just being a yes man and going, like when Jessie says, everything's useless and hopeless. Yes, it is. I don't want to do that anymore. You're absolutely right. You shouldn't do that. And the pregnancy thing was kind of playing into that. Rather than giving you any friction, I just would acquiesce to any request and thing that you thought that you needed in that moment. And then we'd address the reality of the situation. There was a moment after one of our children's MMA classes when you said, you need to talk to me. I think we've spoken about this. And whenever you say, look, we need to talk, I become so frightened. It's a very similar feeling to when there's a police car behind you. Even if you haven't done anything wrong, you start thinking, have I done something wrong though? When did I last break the law? What's going on here? And you took me round the side of the building with the MMA going on inside. You always feel particularly broody at MMA, I think, because of the rather large silverback MMA teacher who takes the class. And you said, I need to be pregnant again. It's my calling. I'm meant to be giving birth. And I went, right, okay. And I didn't want to say no, nil point absolutum non. I went, okay, well, right, let's think about that. I had been kind of upfront. I've been actually not kind of, totally upfront with you about the effects of testosterone replacement therapy on one's fertility, in that it depletes your semen and your ability to make people pregnant. Obviously, this is the case with most people, whereas as anybody with any knowledge of our family will know, my fertility seems to be quite persistently strong, as does yours.
Well, yeah. So
I don't think I was two-faced.
No, but we were irresponsible. I mean, like we didn't use contraception.
No, but we've never used contraception.
We've never used contraception.
So, it was a mistake.
It was a mistake, and you unfortunately you were also tricked by your testosterone levels because you were fucking horny all the time.
Yes.
So you got kind of sucked in that way, and it was fine for a little bit. It was quite exciting because we were having sex all the time, and you didn't really think it through. I was totally thinking, well, hopefully I can get pregnant from this. Hopefully I can pregnant. But also really enjoying the fact that you were like so, eager and rampant. But basically, I think I got pregnant immediately because I then had what I think was a miscarriage in November, and then in December I got pregnant. But again, it was a really strange journey because it didn't feel like any of the other journeys with the babies. It felt wrong. And I just, there was something holding me back from actually thinking about the idea of having a baby. And then something made me take a test on Boxing Day.
Did you take the test?
I took the test. And I did not, with each pregnancy, from the second I was pregnant, basically, I knew the second there was implantation, I knew I had symptoms immediately. And, the internet, if you Google things like that, they're like, that's bullshit. It's really, but I know my body and I know that I was right each 4 times.
Yep.
This time, no symptoms whatsoever. No symptoms. So it was only because I hadn't had a period that I took a test. And then when it immediately came up pregnant, again, not like any of the other times, there was not one iota of joy or feeling like this was right. And there was just something off.
That does slightly contradict the reality of your own emotional journey, though, doesn't it? Because you did, when we found out on Boxing Day that you were pregnant, we were pregnant, that you didn't feel like it was nothing. And as time marched forward, we began to contemplate what we were going to do about the pregnancy. weighing up all trigger warning, weighing up all options, basically around it, continuing to be pregnant and then having a child, or intervening and ceasing to be pregnant.
But I know it's easy to say now that everything is kind of done. I really do think my body knew. And so basically there was a few days of thinking, oh, okay, well, I'm pregnant. And seeing you in the rearview mirror, is that what it's called? The mirror
I was driving, and yes, you could see my face in the rearview mirror as we drove to Crosby Beach on Boxing Day.
So what, like, a few, an hour or something after I told you?
Yeah.
No, we found out when I got back.
Okay.
No, we did know. We did. Yeah. Whatever. I remember seeing you in the mirror, knowing that I was pregnant, and you didn't know that I was looking at you. And oh my God, you looked so deflated and crushed and sad. And the kids, unfortunately, obviously they would never know that they were behaving so badly. They were behaving so badly. And I was like, oh no, can't you just behave well today so that it's more of a good idea, this. And it was just a nightmare the whole day. And then I had this kind of otherworldly tiredness, which has only just ceased. And the kids it was so relentless, everything. And I as this was happening, I was like, I don't know if I can handle this physically. I'm only just sleeping again. And then that night or something, when we were talking about it more with the idea of, okay, well, this might happen. And also it would have been due.
This might happen in the affirmative, in that we might have the baby.
We might have the baby.
Right.
And the due date would have been Becca starting school.
Yeah.
And Donnie starting secondary school.
Mm-hmm.
And the symbolism, the whole thing, it was like, just as we're meant to have time for me to write and have a career again, and, for us to have time together in the day, it was just so ridiculous, that timing. Also, after us just discussing, do we want to go to Edinburgh? All of this stuff. It was just like, oh God, we're going to everything just flies out the window. And also I knew as this was all happening and I was contemplating actually having the baby, I was thinking about what people would say. And I know you shouldn't, but I was. And I was thinking about my agent. And like, I remember her saying after I got pregnant the last time, she was like, oh, okay, well, the thought of having to tell her after years now of promising work, I cannot do. The idea that I'm now having another baby and my work will again probably be delayed, even though I promise, no, I can still do it, but I can't. Of course you can't.
No.
The whole thing was just...
it's difficult enough as it is. And you were very conflicted between and there's no wrong or right judgment elsewhere. We're talking about you and your experience and your wants and your desires and what you want from life and what your instincts are and how, a concoction of your body, your upbringing and just who you are makes you feel. Very hard for you to ever not want a baby. Like me with Maryland cookies. I never really know when enough's enough. And you and us discussing it, you can say now that you knew and that it felt different, but there were certainly moments during that time when we were having these discussions where you were not behaving as if it felt different. I think there was a week where I thought, well, New Year's Eve, we went for dinner in Bunderbust, and before I had a show at Creatures, 8:30 every Monday. Don't miss it. And we discussed what it would be. And I went, yeah, okay, fine. Let's, because we were oscillating quite rapidly between, yes, we will keep and do this. I just knew that, or thought that if you had an abortion, that it would be emotionally unrecoverable for you, and the resentment that you'd have to me would be too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I was not completely transparent with you either.
It's not mine.
No. So even though I did make the call to the, abortion people, and had the initial consultation to book in a potential termination, even during that call, which took forever, and it was the most stressful, judgmental call. I can't believe that is what we still have to go through. Like, it was such an ordeal to even have the fucking phone call and wait for the appointment for the phone call and wait for the time. And it was just so like, this is not worth it. Actually, I'll just have the baby. Thank you. It was so, it was so needlessly horrible, that experience. I don't know if that's like, maybe I just had someone on the end of the phone who was just completely heartless.
So how so? What were they doing?
Just made me feel like I was evil for contemplating this.
How so?
By the judgment in her voice and the repetitive questions about, do I understand what I'm doing? And,
are you being coercively controlled into having an abortion?
So many questions about that. And also because I have to admit that I have 4 kids and I'm not married, there was just so much judgment. So much. I almost felt like she was going to ask me, are they all from the same father? It was so judgmental in her tone. And then the questions about, am I being coercively controlled? Do I want to do this? And obviously I was emotional. So I sounded weak. I sounded like I was unsure because I was unsure. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still like thinking about it. But I knew that if I didn't book in a potential appointment, then I'd be a week further along and then it would be even more distressing. So I was doing this kind of as a pragmatic precaution, this phone call but I came out of the phone call thinking, well, definitely not doing that. Definitely not doing that. And then they make you have a second phone call. And again, I was just like, I just can't do this. And then the truth is, they say, because I have polycystic ovaries and my periods are so long and irregular, they couldn't date. I couldn't date the pregnancy anyway. So I had to have a scan if I was going to have an abortion. So they booked in the scan for a week later. And to be honest, I was really excited.
She loves a scan. Where are you taking Jessie on her anniversary? We're just going to go for a little scan of her womb. She loves the jelly. She loves rolling down her leggings and then stuffing blue towel in between her sort of hip, upper pubis area, and then having the cold jelly and that little thing that looks like a kind of male razor from the 90s, but is actually a thing that you...
I was really excited because I thought, well, then at least he'll see the baby and he'll be more excited. Because you love a scan too.
I don't love a scan. I've actually found the first one tedious. Like the first scan I remember, didn't really know you.
You held my hand.
Was sort of course I held your hand. I'm not a dick. I've held your hand because I wanted you to feel secure and like there was somebody there and like I was with you and like we were in it together because I believed that we were. No matter whether or not like it turned out that we were going to be in a relationship, I was only 27 years old, but so were you. So you must have been slightly daunted by the prospect of what was going on, albeit as I now kind of reflect, probably not as nervous about what was going on and actually kind of delirious and giddy with joy because I know how much you love scans.
No, the whole thing was so scary, like, because you don't know. The scans are so worrying in a way because you just want to be told everything's okay.
Well, we were told everything was okay. And this is the first scan, 27 years old, I'm talking about all those, 11 odd years ago, 12, whatever. And like, it's, you go to, oh, there it is. And you go, oh, brilliant. That's amazing. And it is amazing. And then you stay there for another 45 minutes while they click different measurements and click, clack. And
yeah, but they go silent. So you get worried because they're like, just going to measure the torso.
No.
And then they're silent. And then you just, is the torso okay?
Yeah, but you're such a catastrophist that it's, I'm not sure that's a word, but like you were worried. I was just, right, we've done it now. Like now we're just going over the same things again. And they show you like the satisfying bit, which is the sort of silhouette of this thing, big head, small body on its side, little kind of claws and whatnot.
And they try and take a nice picture.
Cord. They take a nice picture. That's what you want. Catch you later.
Yeah, but Alfie, that's from a quite a privileged point of view, because some people, I think if anything, this experience has taught me that having a scan and it going well is fucking amazing. It's such a privilege. Like, it's quite common with your first pregnancy to not have, for it not to be viable and for things and to be told something. If that was my first baby, this recent one, and I'd had that scan, I just can't imagine the pain. Like, it
was a scan that you only had because it was an abortion clinic. So you wouldn't have had a scan that early, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I wasn't treating it as an abortion scan. I was treating it as my first early scan.
Yes, absolutely.
And also she said, do you want to know if it's twins? And I was like, can I have twins? Of course.
That's the Jaws thing.
I was like secretly crossing my fingers being like, please be twins. Please be twins. And then she says, oh, it's got a heartbeat. I was and I had to pretend that it's not such a big deal to me. Of course it was a big deal. Of course it was a big deal. And it did not go my way.
Twins. And it's the opposite of twins. It's no heartbeat. That is, yeah. So I'm just saying, when I was 27 years old, I'm not considering the privilege. And I'm a 27-year-old idiot. I'm just bored. I'm bored and I'm scared. I've gone from scared to bored. Boredom travels.
It's so funny then, because then you had to go to so many scans. Yeah, and also, which one did you not go to? Oh, with 10 because of COVID, you couldn't come to the scans. Yeah,
just waited outside.
Yeah, that was funny. Those scans were so funny because I could be quite dramatic because I was on my own and you weren't there to kind of monitor me.
So who are you when I'm not there?
So during
you dance goofy, you are dramatic at scans. What?
So during
what
the scans for 10, when they were like, do you want to know the sex? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, it's a boy. I burst into tears.
But tears are primal. Can you fake it? Can you cry now?
If you were there, I wouldn't have been so free with my tears. I would have been a bit more like, oh, that's amazing. We're having a boy, another boy. But because I was on my own, it was just this kind of moody monosyllabic person there. I was like, well, I'm going to make her day. I'm going to make it memorable for her. So I was like, it's a boy. My brother just died. So of course it's a boy.
I do think sometimes, in our relationship, that you are a nutter.
I am. And we were so close to having twins. Finally.
We weren't close to having twins. All that happened was a woman in an abortion clinic said, do you want to know if it's twins? She really should have checked if it was twins. It's a bit of a come down to go, do you want to know if it's twins? You go, yes, please. Oh, it's actually not even alive. Sorry about that. I don't know why I mentioned twins to begin with. What was she thinking? She was, by the way, incredible. She was so nice. She could tell that you were a nutter.
She could tell that I was unsure and she must deal with that kind of thing all the time.
Yeah.
And actually,
we were the oldest people in the abortion clinic.
They were so young.
By about 20 years, I think we were the oldest people in the abortion clinic.
They were all teens.
Yeah. But she gave you a hug at the end. She was so lovely. And she told you in detail about her own experiences. And she didn't have to do that at all. She was really, really valuable and wonderful. And it really fills you with a sense of just, don't know what the right word is, but I don't know, like love or respect or
I did have huge respect for her, actually.
pleasure in the fact that you see somebody that is fulfilling a deep and worthy and valuable purpose in their life. Their life has, and I'm sure loads of people's lives have, an astonishing and far-reaching value, but she is such an important and not celebrated. I think that's the thing, that she's so important to so many people, maybe multiple times a day, and yet there is no you don't see her face next to Paul Smith's on the poster mark.
No, but that's
next to on whatever it is, Church Street or whatever.
Well, that's also what I have learned in this experience. Having never thought I would go into an abortion clinic and then finding myself in one, feeling like a fraud. Because as I was in there, I was like, I just don't think I can go through with this. And then to be told that, well, you've got no choice. You're going to have one because it's not viable. And then to see, I do think people are ashamed of having, I don't know, there was such a secrecy about the whole thing. I felt like even just saying, we're going upstairs here, I felt like I couldn't say, where's the whole thing is still kind of a taboo. And even searching it on Instagram, when I was in this turmoil about could I actually do this? I never saw myself having an abortion. I always saw myself having 8 children. I know that number changes a lot.
It does change quite a lot. The language changes quite a lot, because when you become pregnant, it's very much, isn't it, like that we're pregnant, but I don't think we said at one point, we're having an abortion.
No,
we're having an abortion.
But I was honestly, this is really, I feel very, very scared even doing a podcast about it, because it's judgment. People do judge. And even just searching it, trying to find information and try and find people talking about it and stuff. It was just so bleak. All of it was so kind of inhuman and attacking. And obviously there's so much religious stuff. And then typically, as we went into town last week, and we walked past an anti-abortion stall. It was like this huge billboard of these babies who had survived abortion. And the kids were just walking past. And I was holding back, so I wasn't at the angle to be able to see. And Donnie and Margaret were like, oh my, mommy, don't look. And then they asked me to explain what an abortion was and to look at it. And I was like, okay, let's keep walking. It's just all been mind blowing for me, because I've never thought about this before.
I was surprised by I suppose because culturally, and this is a point of view or an impression that I have very much based on it's a small sort of social grouping. It's comedy, and it's modern, powerful women speaking in certain terms about these things. But a lot of the language and attitude towards abortion in circles that I've experienced is, it's just a bunch of cells, just fucking get it out. If you don't want it, just get it out. It's just the same as, it's like, it's very... a lot of the people that I've spoken to about it have spoken about it like it's no big deal. Yeah. And that is, rightly or wrongly, I pass no judgment either way, but that is not the experience that you come upon when it happens. Well,
you can choose to be quite matter of fact about it. And I really did find myself having to steel myself and be like, come on, think about the quality of your life and how it's going to be affected if you go through with this. And when I did contemplate having one.
When we were talking about it in Bunderbuss, yes, that's one of the things that you found most moved the needle. unfortunate choice of words.
What's going on there? You okay?
No, I'm just trying to make it stop buzzing. Sorry, listener, if there was some buzzing just then. That was one of the things that for you changed your perspective, or at least give you pause to think, was that if there was another baby in our lives, it would mean less time for the children that we currently have. It just would. And there's no two ways around that.
Yeah. And
you
that's
would
it.
have to share yourself, spread yourself more thinly than you already do. And I think we have such after years of flux, after so many moves, after so much house moving and children, death, cancellation, moving everywhere, it finally feels like we are settled and or not settled even yet, but have found a place where we will and can settle. And we know now with some degree of security, touch wood, what the next few years of our life might look like. And as soon as we felt that comfort and relief and pleasure in the promise of stability, oh my God, you're pregnant. And it just threw it all up in the air again, which for me was very much what I was focused on when I couldn't hide my feelings very well about it that Boxing Day. But also, I think was your deepest consideration when you were weighing up considering everything.
It was mainly the fact that you had just had this kind of nice buzz of having your special come out and people being so positive about it. And then the excitement for your career now at the same time as my feelings about my career finally being a little bit more positive and like, oh, I could write again, or I could sit at my desk and do things for a prolonged period of time rather than just do things in 20-minute intervals on 2 days a week. You know, it was like, it was more a deep sadness that I will be signing away a career, which is just what would happen. Or my career becomes entirely about motherhood, which again isn't really an accurate portrayal of me and my skills. And so I just...
Yes, you're ambitious and creative beyond just wanting to be a mother, and you excel in both areas. But I think you have such an ambition in both areas that one will draw from the other. And there is probably a limit to the amount you can put yourself into either thing. It's just two separate lives to an extent. But I
also feel like we've just finally, like you said, one of the nights where we were thinking, okay, we're going to have the baby and it will be born in September, and you know, that will be what happens this year. You said to me something like, well, it's been nice to finally share a bedroom with you. And my heart broke. It really broke. So of course we wouldn't be sharing a bedroom anymore. I'd be sleeping in a bed with a baby. I'm already sleeping half the night in a bed with a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Like
I will just mention that I said that in a loving and affectionate way, and not in a emotionally manipulative way.
No.
As I think maybe that came across there.
But it was just more, I don't know, denial. I think denial about the seriousness of the situation, because every time I've got pregnant, there's not been one doubt in my mind, you know, if everything went well, that I would have the baby. Whereas this time, just something felt different, and the lack of symptoms as well. Just something didn't feel right. And then I think because I've been so indecisive for months about that's maybe what I want. Or no, do I want this? Do I want to write? Or do I want to do a show? Or do I want to do just OnlyFans forever? Or what do I want to do? Like, I think the lack of decision was making it so much harder. And the fact that the decision was kind of made for us is a gift.
Yes.
A complete blessing.
We don't know what would have ended up happening.
Well, I know.
Okay, well, we don't.
No, I know. I would not. You know, no judgment to people who have abortions, but I just know. I know when I lay there and she started doing the scan, I was like, oh yeah, there's no chance. There's no chance. There's no chance I could, because all of those dots, it looks like a dot at the beginning.
The gestational sac.
Yeah, I don't like that term, but the dot, I think a dot is a nicer way of putting it. The dot, Donnie, Margot, Tan and Becca were dots. And I know that, I think it's a lot. I think, to be honest, I don't think it's easy for anyone to have an abortion, but I think it's probably slightly harder for people who've had kids because they know what they're losing or getting, choosing not to have. And I saw that dot and I thought, oh, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And I did feel a deep, deep sadness but I also feel relief that it hasn't gone ahead because I can now have my boob job,
I think there's a degree of existential sort of, I think some people will not feel the same as you, and that I don't think is necessarily, it's such a subjective thing in how you view life, and you really need to get into the philosophical weeds of the nature of existence, and like it's so difficult to talk about. It's very, very difficult for you, of course. It's very difficult for me to be like, I was unsure when you said, and we were talking about it, like, how much of my opinion do I really give here? Like, what I think I tried to do is like, look, I'll tell you what I think if you'd like to know my opinion. I won't pressure you. I will sort of I'll take on an advisory role, but you very much get the casting vote. That feels like the right way to go about it. But is that the right way to go about it? Should I have had more, like, it is my life too, but it is your body, but it is my life. And my life is sort of, is that of equivalent importance? I don't know.
This is the first time that I felt of it. I'm sorry, but this is the first time that I felt that it was of equivalent importance because I was unsure. So I really did feel, I do feel like we've progressed so much together since Becca was born. I feel like we're a different couple.
Yes.
That I felt this just wouldn't be fair on you. Having said that, in the last few weeks since this has all settled down and my hormones are kind of finally...
You've decided you do want another baby.
I want to go for twins. No, but I have decided, I've thought actually, no, it wouldn't be that destructive, but having a baby in September, yeah, that wouldn't have been great for Becca. It would be so nice for him to start school and for us to really give him that attention, for Donnie to start school. And also the other thing that my mum said the other day, or I read somewhere, it's like, boy teens don't get enough attention. And they almost need as much attention as toddlers. If you should be giving them as much attention as toddlers because they are not that forthcoming with, how they feel. And I really want to be there for Donnie. I really want to be there. I mean, for a while, when they were little, when Becca was just born, they wanted me to play snakes and ladders all the time, Donnie and Margot. And I was always be like, yeah, I can play. And then we would set it up and then 10 inevitably would come and knock over everything as Becca would need to be on the boob. And I remember just desperately trying to play snakes and ladders with them so that I was like, still there for them, still doing what they need, still playing with them. And every time it would be 3 minutes and then it's just game over. And I remember that pain of being like, I'm sorry, I can't play right now. We'll play later when they're asleep. And then obviously they never went to sleep. And then obviously they forgot about it and then we didn't play. And I just saw that happening again with another one and felt very sad.
Yeah.
I want to be able to play snakes and ladders with them. And I want to be able to run with Donnie and I want to be able to walk him to school on his own. And
Can I just say that I don't want to be able to play snakes and ladders with anybody ever again. I find it to be the most deeply frustrating and irritating game but I think they're probably old enough for some good board games, which I am excited about. They've reached the age now where they can cognitively grapple with more complexities than just, oh dear, back down, oh good, I go up.
Yeah.
And also they're both appalling cheats, and that needs to be drummed out of them. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Having once been a teenage boy, I know that it can be an exceptionally lonely experience because nobody understands, or your belief is that nobody quite understands what you're going through. And you do feel incredibly lonely because you don't really want to speak to your friends about it. It comes out in these rushes of confusion and miscommunication. And I think I was probably a bit of a nightmare to my little brother when he was going through puberty. Because I remember he's, Al, fuck off. And I would stroke him on the back of the head and go, it's okay, Louis. Your body's changing.
Oh, God. Well, I remember being so insensitive.
Incredibly creepy and irritating, but it was very funny. Anyway, sorry. Your brothers.
Fine. Chatty today, aren't you?
No,
You're a chatty catty talking about abortion.
I think I've taken a back. I had a joke as well about that I thought, oh, that'll clip. That'll clip well.
Nothing will clip, and this episode will not be clipped.
When our lovely and excellent clip man Finley gets the episode through, he'll see my joke about we're having a baby. You don't say we're having an abortion. I thought, oh yeah, brilliant. Jesse will laugh at that. And you just went, no, and moved straight forward.
I can safely say, Finley, this will not be clipped. Imagine if this is the point that we find out that the majority of our listeners are very, very, very pro-life. Is pro-life what it says? What it's called, I mean.
Yeah. They've both got these rather clever marketing names. So people who are anti-abortion are pro-life, and people who are pro-abortion are pro-choice.
Choice, yeah.
So they've both kind of these are names that they've given themselves to try and communicate the idea that they are the goodies in the argument.
Basically, it's given us both a wake-up call into being responsible. And then we had to have the chat with the woman after the procedure.
I got a laugh.
You did get a laugh.
I did get a laugh.
What happened?
She said, I've given you a bag. It's got some condoms on it. And I said, so sorry, what are condoms? And she went,
She did. She cracked a smile.
She did crack a smile.
And then we lost the condoms.
No, we didn't.
Well, we found them again eventually, but...
Yeah, not using those.
It also feels so inappropriate to say to the younger woman who's dealing with us, when can you have sex again? I felt like I was asking for something forbidden. And she was like, 1 week. It seems so arbitrary to have these dates. And then it feels all so different now, because it's like, oh God, no, I've always had sex with the idea that, oh, this could be fun. Like I could get pregnant. Now I know that the reality of being pregnant and it not being a good idea, it has kind of made me really think about it differently.
So where are we at on my ball tubes? What do you think? May I have them burnt at the end?
Is that reversible?
Look, if you're going to want me to reverse it, I just won't get it done. It is reversible, but having a vasectomy is not a big deal. Having a reversal. No. I'm just having a vasectomy is not a big deal. I mean, biologically, physiologically, the toll it takes on your body, the pain, etc. It's not a big deal. It's not a big operation. You go in there, they burn away your ball tubes with a little kind of mini welder. My friend said that he could smell his own ball tubes burning away. But having it reversed,
do you just lose your train of thought?
No, having it reversed is a big deal and is a more physiologically difficult thing to cope with. Vasectomy is just like maybe it won't be as easy as you'd like it to be to sit down for a couple of days.
Okay, but this is also something that I've learned.
Yeah, go on, teach me the lessons.
If you read the pamphlet about abortion,
front to back,
which we did.
I did not.
Well, I sent it to you and I told you to read it.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I did read the email.
I sent that to you strategically because I was like, I'll come back into the car after their MMA class and he'll have read that PDF, all 12 pages, front and back. And he will say, okay, let's keep the baby. I came back into the van after. I was like,
right, abortion then. Sorry,
Alfie, I think we need to stop laughing about it. Like, stop laughing. It is a really big deal. And this could be the end of this podcast. People could be like, that's actually, how dare you talk about this and be lighthearted about it.
Anybody who listens to this podcast is listening to it because they are in some way somebody who values honest communication. We have said enough things on this podcast that people have not. If you could just yawn a bit more brazenly while I'm talking. We have said enough things on this podcast.
I'm pregnant, so I'm actually still recovering. My body is still pregnant.
It was ages ago. We've waited a long time to break this.
My body is still pregnant, technically. It is.
Is it still?
It's still pregnant, yeah. So thank you.
Is that why you're being so constantly reasonable at the moment?
Maybe, exactly. That's how we got into this discussion, isn't it?
Yeah. So, we've spoken about enough things on this podcast that people have disagreed with. And they've let us know that they disagree with us fairly frequently. Every so often, actually.
This should be on Patreon.
Well, it's not. Jessie, you can't. Oh, my God.
It should be.
Oh.
Come on, it should be.
So are we going to do a whole other episode now?
Yeah, we are. We have to have this on Patreon. You can have a crumpet and then get on with it. Come on. You can do it.
But
have a nice crumpet. I'll make you a crumpet. Is your crumpet buttered?
Okay, well, we'll have a little off-camera discussion about whether or not it's going on Patreon, because that would be just, if you've enjoyed this podcast and you value our honest communication, there's lots more honest communication on patreon.com/braveclown. Please reward if our exposing our souls to you is of any value to you at all. If you are feeling less alone in the universe, or if you think that it's cathartic or interesting or refreshing in this world of constant performance to just people being honest, then there's more of that on the patreon.com/ because we do need to make money from it.
But then this should be on Patreon.
No. But what I'm saying is, Jessie, that...
Okay, fine. I'll tell you something funny that you did in the abortion clinic too.
And then we need to have like a couple of minutes of just a bit of pear sorbet to cleanse the palate of the abortion.
Yeah, I have something.
Great. I love you.
Thanks. In the clinic, you were talking, there was a couple of teenagers in there. They didn't look like they were fine. They were just there for the pills, getting back out there. Which I found slightly bizarre, but we were just chatting as Heart Radio was on. What song was playing in the abortion clinic?
Can't remember.
It was like Rihanna or something. Mm-hmm. And we ended up talking about work, and you were like, so with my special, I just feel like I just need to scrape through it. And you did this. You went scrape through it. And I was like,
we were having a strategic...
Don't say that.
A strategic conversation about how I was going to approach my special, yes. And I said, I just need to go through it, scrape it for clear. I must have had the word scrape in my brain because I was in an abortion clinic.
And then we couldn't stop laughing and I had to stop. It was so bad.
It's so nice to get the giggles, isn't it? Even when you are in an abortion clinic, it's so nice. Even if you are in an abortion clinic because you've accidentally said the word scrape too loudly.
And the other thing was, I feel embarrassed saying this, but, I do get recognized. I do. I wish, I'm not just, bragging, but I do actually get recognized almost every day. And I did think when we were in there, I was like, oh my, this is so, imagine if somebody... is like a massive Harry Potter fan
Yeah.
And they sit
Somebody
next-
sees you in the abortion clinic and go, haven't seen this episode of Trolleyed. Heather's abortion episode.
No, but it did cross my mind that
Water nymph number 3 from Inkheart having an abortion.
I did think I really maybe should have, but I can't afford a private one. Private one costs like £600. So it's one of those another reasons where I wish that people were, like with OnlyFans, people, sometimes judgmental. It's like, I can't afford, this is how we make a living. And also OnlyFans was a massive reason also to think about, I don't really want to do OnlyFans when I'm pregnant.
There's a big market for it.
No, but I don't know if there is. And I don't know, but I don't know the ethics of that. I don't know the ethics of that.
Well,
and I don't care about anyone else's ethics. My ethics with that, I think I would look back on that.
Oh, absolutely. I think you'd regret it. Yeah.
And I would feel weird that I was doing these kind of provocative hair washing videos
with a baby
with a
inside
bump.
you. Yeah, and then that baby would then, oh look, I was in there while you were while people were masturbating.
And then is there a lawsuit there in the future? Like, will the fetus like say, oh, actually, I earned $300 from that video?
Well, I do remember Britney Spears doing a naked shoot while she was pregnant, and as a teenager, I enjoyed it a great deal.
Right.
So
there's obviously there's a fetish for it, but I don't
fetish.
No, but it is a fetish, a pregnancy fetish. It's a pregnancy fetish.
Well, lucky for you that I had one, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you would have enjoyed it, and then I wouldn't need the boob job. The pregnancy boobs would be there. Anyway, the other...
I don't think you need to worry about judgment is my point, and I don't think it necessarily needs to go behind a paywall. I think that you are fearful of people's...
I guess then I'd be making money out of an abortion.
Yeah, that's... I think you second guess yourself and your ethics and your perception too much. Just fucking say it, fuck it out.
Right, so what were you going to tell me earlier? You said, I'll wait to tell you on the podcast. You were giggling to yourself about doing something embarrassing. Did you have an abortion?
No, I just had a really middle-aged consumer gripe with the Dogs Trust website. Are
you on that all the time?
I just as a little, treat in between moments of being very hard at work.
When you get up in the morning, what's the first thing you look at on your phone? On the phone. On my phone. Any WhatsApps? WhatsApps, really? Oh my God, I can't look at WhatsApp straight away. That would freak me out.
I am excited. I've got a new phone over there, which is going to change my life. The TT phone T280. It does have WhatsApp and Uber, but it is an unpleasant user experience. And I wanted to have a little bit more of an unpleasant user experience. Anyway, besides the point.
Dogs Trust.
I emailed them and said, listen, when you use the search filters on your rehoming dogs section, like meet our dogs, that bit, and I put in can live with other dogs, can live with preschool children, although come September, we're going to be able to knock it up to primary.
Yeah, but he's still preschool size.
Doesn't matter. Okay. It's about whether they give you the dog or not.
Okay.
And also it doesn't matter because we're not getting one from there because I wouldn't, because I love this dog. I just like browsing the section, but it does irritate me that when I look and it goes, can only live with secondary school children. Well, why is he in the preschool bit then, Dogs Trust? So I've had a go at the Dogs Trust and they've emailed me back going, sorry to hear about your experience using the website. We have forwarded it to the website management team and we hope for it to be resolved very shortly. And I felt like, and I do not like the misogynistic new term Karen. I find it to be both unimaginative and unhelpful in a world that is making a claim, at least to try and be somewhat more progressive. I find that the word Karen, term Karen is...
You love it. Just get on with it.
I don't like it, but I was one of them.
I can't believe you spent time emailing the Dogs Trust. Avi, that's such a waste of your time.
I know. It's really embarrassing.
What are you doing? Like, come on.
And anything important, I always forget to do.
Start sewing.
Anything important, I'll forget to do.
Pay your parking ticket.
I did.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, use your time better to do things for us as a family rather than emailing the Dogs Trust website.
But I get to, whenever anything's important, I get such a sense of palpitating anxiety about it that I go, okay, I must remember to do that later. And then I don't.
And also now, after the last tariff bridge charge that you didn't pay, I will never believe you again. Every time you say you've done something, I am going to ask you 10 more times. I'm going to ask you about 3 more times today. Did you actually pay it? Can I see the evidence, please? I want to see evidence that you paid that. Because you're a liar, Alfie. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's go.
Okay. Oh, the microphone's just playing up again. So we're going at just the right moment. Okay. I said I love you earlier and you said yes in quite a nasty way. Would you like to right that wrong?
I'm sorry. Did you get that jumper off my side?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Did you get the jumper off? I mean, it's quite clearly my jumper.
Okay.
Isn't it?
I love you too.
Your one is...
Oh, no. Oh, this is what I want to finish on, which is nice. So I saw this thing, obviously online, which was a couples therapist saying to a couple...
As they often do.
You should never, ever reach the point of criticism. So if you should treat criticism in a relationship like physical abuse, which I thought is such a good, you know how you never cross that line? Well, hopefully one in a couple never crosses the physical violence line. And, you know, that would just, it's like obviously a red line. But criticism. Good. Sorry, I wanted to further analyze this seemingly absurd statement. Yeah. So if you are in a couple that are constantly criticizing each other, and I think I do criticize you a lot.
Yes, you do.
And I think you criticize me a lot too.
No.
About my negativity and...
I criticize your criticism, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Anyway, I thought that was really interesting. So they never, ever, ever, if you learn that criticism is bad and you just try and sidestep that every single time.
Becca, come here, but don't look at the camera, please. Just come here.
We're talking about criticism, Becca.
Do you know what criticism is? Do you know what criticism is? He's trying to smell your bum, isn't he? Come here. Becca, come here now. Don't look at the camera. Don't look at the camera.
Why?
Because it's bad. But do you have anything that you want to say to everybody?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing is what you want to say.
What just happened on Bluey?
I unpaused it.
You unpaused it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
See you later, everybody.
Can you not?
Until next time, this ended in chaos. The Before We Break Up Again podcast. Say, this has been Before We Break Up Again. Can you say that, Becca?
No.
Okay, great news.
This has been Before We Break Up Again.
With Alfie Brown.
Special episode.
And Jessie Cave from Trolleyed.
Mom.